You're watching a Big Z review. Nobody 2 is a new action film that comes out this weekend, and I saw it after the day after seeing the original Nobody again, and I enjoyed it. It's a little bit more of the same, but that more of the same is a really fun action flick.
Get out of here. Let's go right now.
I understand protecting your sister, but there are other ways to handle things.
Well, I like your way better.
So Nobody 2 brought back pretty much everyone from the first film. Even Daniel Bernhardt, which is like, I think he's like part of the main John Wick stuntmen crew. And he actually played 2 different characters in the John Wick universe. And he played 2 different characters in the Nobody universe now too. Like he is, in the first one he got his teeth knocked out on the bus. And in this one, he's like the main henchman for Sharon Stone, who is this one's big bad villain. The only thing really different about this film is they brought in a new director, which is the Indonesian action film director, Timo Tjahjanto. And he did some really cool, like his action, they're super gory. They're like almost leaning towards like horror film gore. Like his last one he did for Netflix with The Shadow Strays was really good. He also did The Night Comes For Us. And he did like the show, The Big Four. He did the awesome short on VHS 94 and a bunch of other stuff. He's building a really good action catalog for himself. But this is like the really first big mainstream film that he's done. And I think he did a really good job. You know, they're definitely leaning heavily on the structure of the first film. Like even have like the beginning starts off with them like going through multiple days of now what the life is like now, although different from the first one. But essentially, if you've never seen the first one, you can kind of watch this one without having seen it. But I think you really should check out the first one. And it's a good film, so there's nothing wrong with checking it out. But basically, this is if John Wick's wife hadn't died. And like he raised a family and was out of the game for like 15 years. And then he was brought back in. So like it's kind of like a different kind of setup for them. Because he is much more like out of the game than John Wick, I feel like, was. And, you know, the main star of this is Bob Odenkirk as a Hutch Manziel. And I love, you know, after watching all of his stuff, his, like, comedy stuff. And he's great in Breaking Bad and Better Call Saul. But it's great to see him as an action star. And then his wife is Connie Nelson. And his dad is Christopher Lloyd. And he's, again, in this. And again, the setup is very similar. Like the structure of the film is almost like one for one, but you know I don't mind it. And he has like his brother, like stepbrother, I get is Harry Manziel, and then there's Paisley Cadaras as a daughter, and Engage Monroe as a son, and like they all come back, you know, 4 years later, and like essentially in the last one, like he burned up all the Russians' money, but also like he was retired, but now they're bringing him back in, the agency he worked with, as like an assassin, as an auditor, I think they called him. So because of that, like he's now for a couple years, he's been going on missions like every day and like killing more people. And essentially that the first one, their relationship was kind of strained because it just fell into monotony, but now it's strained because he's never home. But they decided to go on a vacation to where, like, his family went when he was a kid. It's, like, one of the happiest weeks of his life. Like, it's, like, one of the first water parks in America. And they go there. And, of course, there's, it's a highway for some bad people that move weapons and drugs and money through. And, of course, the cops are bad there. And he kind of gets dragged into more shenanigans. And the action is really good. I think it's on par with the first one. I think there is Timo Tjahjanto. He didn't go quite as gory as his other films. there's a couple moments they let him do some anime katana violence, and there's some blood mist, but nothing too over the top. I guess they told him, don't scare the hose, Timo. Like, don't go too far. But like, it's still like I like what he did. Like, there's some interesting ways to do it. A couple times, like when he's talking to his boss about what happens, like a little more trouble than you told me about, and you see him like just how he's like telling the story and how they merge in the action scene. They do a couple different ways. It's different from the first one. That I think it feels like he's playing with it a little bit. I like that a lot. But like I think that's still the two movies. My favorite action scene is probably the bus scene in the first one, and this one they tried that this version of it is like on a duck boat, but it's not quite as long and absurd and crazy. But it's still it's almost the same idea. Even like in the other one, like the villains throw him out of the bus and they think they finally won, even though they're just beat up. And this one, they throw him off the boat and they think they won. And then he comes back on and then like, okay, let's fucking go. And like I think that it leans a little too much into the formulaicness. That's not really a word, but the formula that the first one set up. They even have like towards the end, the climax is a big they're setting up traps, and he has his dad and his brother helping him. They add a couple more people, but like it's very similar to how the first one is done. And like I said, there's also like the head of the sheriff is Colin Hanks, and he's fun. But I think Sharon Stone as Lindina, she's not very good. Like they did something really interesting in the first one. There's Alexei Sarabakov. Like he was the villain. He was like crazy, and he was like whole thing. He wanted to be like a singer. And he had his own club. But like they do this similar setup where the first time you see him, there's like someone that just slightly wronged them, and she murders them, like same way with the previous villain. But like this one, she owns like a casino or something. But I do think that like the biggest like step down from Nobody 1, Nobody 2 is the villain. Like it's just not as good. But like everything else, there's just a lot to love here. Like the action is great. Like there's no horrible shaky cam, and it seems like Bob Odenkirk did like all the action. I think he really trained for it. Then he had a heart attack, but I think like he really trained for this. And you see it's all in camera. Like it's not. That's the only thing that sometimes it stretches the believability. But I mean, at the same time, like it's a movie. You know, who cares if like all the good guys win? You know, you expect that. It's not like a movie where everyone's like all the good guys are gonna die. It just isn't that. They're gonna like make all the bad people pay, and it's great to watch that. You know, I like the family, and I like that they do lean a little bit into the whole drama of the wife being upset, but I kind of like that they come together. That's such an annoying trope, I find. The wife that doesn't support the husband, and like it's used too much. And I like that they're playing with it a little, but then she's there for him, you know. Like the scene, like you don't get to tell me what to do, but he's like trying to get her to run away again. If she doesn't want to run away and leave him to possibly die, she wants to fight with him. And I mean, I like that, and I like the people. It's a lot of good stuff here. Like I mean, and I think they show they can do it more stuff too. Like they do it again. Like if it does well enough, I mean, it's probably not that expensive to make. I could see like another 4 years doing another one. Like I mean, there's nothing wrong with it. It's a really fun action flick. Like it's not quite as good as like the John Wick films, but it doesn't have to be. And like I really like Timo Tjahjanto, and I look forward to seeing what he'll do next. So I'd probably give it like an 8.25 out of 10. Like I definitely recommend it if you're a fan of action flicks. It's a completely serviceable action film that I had a lot of fun with. But thanks for watching, and want to see more of me, you can subscribe down below. Thanks.